And I believe that I'm not a play-by-play person, analyst, but I believe that they do their due diligence as well, and they get their reports on teams that they're about to play, as long as their own team, right? So I was actually watching the game live last night when I heard it. And I waited. I didn't do it right away, as you've seen from my tweet. I was watching the game. So if that's the case, if I am a play-by-play announcer, right, and I'm covering a team in my local team. In his case, he's covering the Wizards. So he remembers the Kevin Porter who used to play for the Bullets, correct? The first thing I would have done, I would have said, oh, Kevin Porter Jr. is coming into town. Let me see if that's his son. I would have did that due diligence way before. And I think everyone on this call would have did the same thing. Tell me, am I wrong? Anybody? Okay, don't say anything. My second point. I watched the whole game. Not at one point did he ever reference, which he thought was Kevin Porter Sr., anytime when Kevin Porter Jr. was playing in that game. That's point two. Point three, if he didn't look for Kevin Porter Sr., thinking that was his son, I would have just been like, I would have looked at Kevin Porter Jr. and saying, let me see if this is his dad that played for the Bullets in the 70s. You would have known that. That's point three. Point four, what he said, no matter if he thought that I was his dad or not, was so insensitive in the words that he used, that we know the words that he used. I don't even want to repeat it. It's not even something that should be ever said. That's four. And last, because you guys know that I calculate everything. Last, me personally, when Isaiah Thomas from Washington State was coming up in the ranks, when I heard Isaiah Thomas, the first thing I thought about was the great Isaiah Thomas from the Pistons. So I Googled this of that kid in Washington to see if they had any relations. And I was like, oh, is this his? I thought like for a second, I was like, is that his son? No. Well, come to find out, I did my research. His dad, Magic Johnson fan, lost a bet during the finals. And his best friend said, if they lose to the Pistons, you got to name your son Isaiah Thomas. Go further. I played against a guy early in my career named Mike James. They played for the Raptors. They played for a lot of teams. And then Mike James, that's just been in and out of the league over the last few years, same name. I actually looked that up and thought, do they have any resemblance? Do they have any relations? No, they don't. This is not just like in basketball. This is in multiple sports. Patrick Surtain Jr., that's now with the Broncos. I did my due diligence on that. I was like, oh, wow, that's the great Patrick Surtain. That's his son. Ashanti Samuels, that's here, local, that plays for the Chargers, Jr. Oh, his dad was a monster with the Eagles. But I did my research. And Marvin Harrison Jr., that's at Ohio State right now, I had to go and make sure that was the great Marvin Harrison that we know from Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison all those years, is that his son. I don't want to hear that excuse. Could he have made a mistake? Absolutely. But in our job, in our field, as professionals, we are in a professional league. You got to do your due diligence and do your job all the way to the point where, why did he even say that at the end of that game anyways, those words? So I'm not taking back nothing I said. Nothing at all. I think I explained that pretty good.
Bill,
Did you see it?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. What did you say?